update. I'm not sure how long I can do that for because I have a way of forgetting about what I'm doing. And anytime I decide I'm going to do something every day, it lasts for like 3 days and then it's over. Happens in many parts of my life. It's not just you. Don't worry. It's not just you. Here, I think I'm going fast enough, but I guess I'm not fast enough. I'm out here 7:45 in the morning. And so I guess people that are going to Ottawa have to be there before 9. They would be on the road now. Who knows when people get to work? Some people like to be at work at 7, some at 8, some at 9. It used to be that if you went at 7, you would miss the rush hour. You know, if you got into work at 8 or something. But now rush hour in Ottawa starts at 6. So I guess there's just more people. There was a big boom in Ottawa a few years ago. I don't know, might be a lot of years ago now. I have a very hard time distinguishing how many years is a few years. What I think was just a couple years ago turns out to be 10 years ago. I guess I'm getting old. I'm 60. Did I tell you that? Yes, I am. No longer time to procrastinate the things that I need to do in this life. Yes, indeed. Housework is not one of those things. I can procrastinate that right on out. That's not going to matter one bit. I will have a to-do list on the day I die. My father was in the process of writing a book. He just started this book and he had been researching it for years. And he left his book unwritten. Oh well. You know, somebody was saying this morning that her mom had pneumonia. And if only she had gone home with her mom wouldn't have caught pneumonia. Or maybe she could have nursed her back to health instead of pneumonia taking her life. But you know, you remember in Lost, for those of you that were into Lost, I was really into Lost big time. Desmond had these extra sort of, he could sort of see the future, but really what he was seeing was the past because he had already lived in this different dimension or something like that. But anyway, Charlie was going to die, and Desmond saw all these things that were about to happen. Charlie was going to roll off the cliff, but Desmond saved him. And so then, instead of it just having saved him, lightning was just about to strike the tent. And Desmond saved him again. And then, I don't remember, I think there might have been another thing. But anyway, then Charlie ended up in this enclosed space, and he couldn't get out, and the water was coming up. Anyway, so he drowned in this well. You know, it's terrible and tragic. However, the thing that was being shown was that when it's your time, it's your time. At least in Lost. And I believe that we are given a certain amount of time on the earth. We are given a certain amount of time, and the Lord knows things like how in this day we overcome certain illnesses and we live longer. And so those of us that are here at this time are supposed to live longer in that much. You know, like in Angola, the lifespan is 45 years old. 45 years long. Anyway, and so my friend who said if only she had gone, she could have saved her mom and she wouldn't have died from that. But you know, what would she have gotten instead? If that was her time, when it's your time, you know, if you know, maybe she would have gotten a very painful cancer. Or, you know, a stroke that would have left her in a very disabled but alive and frustrating state. Who knows? And so we must do what we can to help others, but after the fact, we can't look back and say, if I had done this, that would have happened, because If you had saved your child from running out in the road, perhaps something else was going to happen. You know? We have to prevent everything that we can, but after the fact, when it's over, we have no idea if that was the final say, or if we had saved them from that, would something else have just taken them the next day? I'm firmly convinced that God knows our needs, and we are only here on this earth to prove ourselves for a certain length of time. And we don't need to stay longer than that. We are needed on the other side. There is much work to be done on the other side. The salvation of the whole of humanity. Anyway, just thought I would share that with you. I dreamed about my mother last night. It was nice to be with my mom. It was really nice to be with her. She hadn't died, but she didn't have Alzheimer's. She was just normal. She was herself. But there was a lot of commotion. There were a lot of people in the house, and I didn't know all the people. They were mostly kids, you know, like, not kids, youth or young adults. And a bunch of them were going to leave. There was a bunch of leaving going on. There was a bunch that were going to go over to my brother's. And there was a turkey in the oven. And I was trying to figure out why it played out like this. But there was a turkey in the oven, and I stuck in a basting thermometer, and I sucked out all this fat, liquid fat and juice. And my mother was so impressed. My mother was always impressed by everything I did. However, I wasn't really that impressive. She was very impressive. She would have thought of all these things. That's where I learned it from. Anyway, she was very impressed that I would have just taken it. Oh, what a good idea, you know, so it wouldn't spill over and burn and all that stuff. And so then I was looking around for a place to squirt it, to put it into, some kind of a container. And being who I am and always wanting to impress my mom, because I certainly lived off of the praise. I mean, I really lived off the praise. Being as I am, I wanted a container where she could see the amount of it. I didn't want to just put it in something that was closed that you couldn't see through. So I was looking for a glass something or other, and I came upon a glass vase. And I squirted in there, and it immediately became solid white fat. Fluffy fat, like I would use for my soap making. I don't know that fat for soap making is fluffy. It's really not, it's just fat. Anyway, so remind me to get gas, otherwise I'm going to run out. It's one of those times I have to stop procrastinating. I always put it off until the last minute. Willem gets in my car and says, "What? There's no gas." Oh my gosh. I was with Mary Jane and I said, "Oh, we better get gas." And she says, "No, the light's not on yet." Can you believe that? She's such a card. Anyway, I've never run out of gas in this car, so I don't know exactly how low goes. So back to my story about my mother. And in looking for a container, lots of containers seemed to fall and spill all over the place. And there was other stuff on the floor. It was quite chaotic. And after I woke up, I once again tensed up because I have not yet turned off all the things that go to the house, all the bills. Anyway, and so I had this stress, once again, this undefined, chaotic stress. And confused. I just can't figure out what to do about it. Anyway, that wasn't the point. I guess it wasn't the point. Something was the point. There's a big, big tractor with huge discs. The flat ones and then the two arms that go up the sides. Oops, down you go. I guess you should go now. Goodbye.